We're rocking. There we go. Good. We rocking? We rolling?
What's up, everybody in Podcastville?
How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? It's Alex and Dylan back with Everything Like That podcast. And we're here with our grandpa, who is the inspiration behind Everything Like That, because that is his catchphrase.
Everything like that?
Did you know that's the name of the podcast?
Do what?
Did you know that was the name of the podcast? Everything Like That?
Oh,
Do you know who says everything like that all the time?
no.
You.
I don't know nothing about that. I was born in 48.
This guy. Oh, man.
48. You were born in 1948?
I was born in 1948.
You know, technically, you're not a baby boomer
Why not?
because the baby boomers were like, I think the cutoff date was like 46, so you missed it by 2 years.
Well, I'm still a baby, though. Oh,
Nice.
Oh, man. All right, what's your question, Whit? You've been dying to ask.
Yeah, you just said something about Morgan Wallen, so I want to know what your thoughts on the state of country music is right now.
Do you
I
even
don't like it.
Do you even listen to like country music that's like new?
If it's not if it's not the 60 rock and roll or the 50 rock and roll like it, and then it goes to the country, George Jones, Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, people like it. That's what you call good country music because it's got a meaning to it. Most of them now are just hollering and screaming, in my opinion, and I don't care for that.
Did you listen to Johnny Cash?
Do what?
Did you listen to Johnny Cash?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't I didn't really like him as much as I like Conway and Loretta and George Jones and all them like that.
You need to watch that new Elvis movie. That Elvis movie that came out.
Do what?
That Elvis movie that came out. We talked about that the other day about that Elvis movie
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
about
I
Elvis
liked
and
Elvis. I liked
Elvis and
Elvis.
his manager and all that stuff. How his manager
Yeah,
kind of conned him out of a bunch of money and stuff,
yeah,
and then he had to sue him and got
yeah.
all of it back.
I always have a feeling about that. And Elvis died way too young, for as I'm concerned. Way too young. And it's pitiful when you stop and think that a person like Elvis, I mean, he was well known and publicized and everything like that, but he couldn't get out and go to McDonald's and have a hamburger and on his own. He had to have guards. He had to have people watching for him all the time. And I wouldn't want to live a life like that. I
They
mean, I would not.
they said I heard a story the other day about Michael Jackson. He went to a Lakers game and he showed up and was courtside and had to get escorted out of the building by like all the security because people were swarming him in the middle
Oh
of the
yeah,
Lakers
yeah.
game.
That's the same way Elvis was. The girls, they take her clothes off and throw them up on the stage and everything else. I mean,
That'd have
and
been.
it was pitiful.
Was that the bad part of it, or?
No, that wasn't a bad part. That was sort of a good part if you get down on that. But I mean, the whole deal was the man could not have any privacy and go and be natural, like he wanted to
I think
be.
that's every man's dream to get girls just throw their clothes off and throw them at you.
Well, that'd get you in trouble though when you go throwing off too many clothes, and everything like that. So you got to watch that one now. But anyhow, that's just my public opinion.
That's I like most of your opinions are public, huh? You let everybody
Yeah,
know about
yeah.
them.
Most everybody knows I am very outspoken and everything like that. Whenever
Boom.
There it
and
is.
if I think it, I say it most of the time.
Everything like that.
Everything like that.
Everything like that.
Where did you get that from?
Well,
You just start saying it, or
that's just the way I was raised. I mean, if your foot hurts, you need to tell somebody. And I mean, if the way things go, in life and everything like that. The To me, the more you say, and to a certain extent, now you got to be careful sometimes what you say. But I mean, yet let your feelings be known, and you'd be surprised how many hundreds of thousands of people that really agrees with you whenever you get right down to it, because they say, well, we're not as public as you are, and I don't like it, about saying it, but yet we agree with you 110%.
I uh I like that a lot. I wonder how much of that came from just how you were raised, or how much of it you were a salesman for a long time, right?
Oh yeah, I was electrical salesman and everything like that, but I mean, and you deal with contractors and people like that. And contractors, there's nothing wrong with them, but I mean, you can hear a lot of things that you ought not hear, and especially when something goes wrong and everything like that, they got a verbiage, they got a lot of descriptive adjectives that they use to describe things that has happened and everything like that. But you've been in public like I have all my life. I mean, I've been working since I was 12 years old, and a lot of that was out in public and everything like that. Moving furniture and doing stuff like that.
It's for me, it's hard to make sales if I'm not being honest about who I am. Really, it's like
That's right.
they can always see. Um, like I'm always honest, but if I'm not confident and honest, then they don't like it. But you're very confident in your opinions.
Oh yeah, and
Which
I mean you got to be what you say, real. I mean you got to be genuine in what you say and do because people, you never know who's looking at you, and you never know who's watching you and everything like that. How you handle different situations and everything like that. And I mean it all goes back to your character. It's according to what kind of character you got. And I was always raised to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And sometimes it hurts, but I mean, you gotta be upfront.
I like it. It's a little bit of a segue, but it could be a rough one. But tell me if you remember this story, and I'm only remembering half of it, if that. But you drove a church bus for a long time, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Nice.
Drove a church bus for several years. In fact, we went to one church, and we was uh, driving the bus. Me and my wife was for about 9 years, and we left that church and went to another church and started back up again. And we went about another 9 years, and then my wife got so sick till I couldn't do what I wanted to do and everything like that on kind of her health and this and that and other. But we had a lot of kids and we had a lot of adults that actually rode the bus, not only children but adults, and I really enjoyed that because they was a lot of people that of course, them being older and everything like that, they would help me about backing the bus up, anything like that. They would watch for me, and it was good. I mean, we just get to talking about different things. It was riding down the road after I picked him up, and we'd head down the road and going to church and everything like that. And we really got to know each other and the friendship that we had, and it can't be replaced.
So go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, the riding the church bus. I remember old Chad. He told me Chad is my father. I call him Chad because I can't call him Daddy for some
And
reason.
that's Marvin's son.
Yeah. Marvin, yeah, OG Marv's son here. But he told me a story one time. Today, obviously, it's been one of the big things forever. But everybody's all up in arms about racism, obviously. But Chad told me a story about I can't remember it exactly, but the folks that were in charge of the baptistry wasn't letting the little black kids get baptized, and he said that you had some choice thoughts about how they handled that situation.
Yeah, we was going to a church, and we had some kids that was white, and the daddy was black, and this and that and other, and we came up that they was ready for baptism and everything like that. And uh, the elders and the deacons, they didn't want them to be baptized there, anything like that. They wanted them to go to another church, and that's whenever they told me that I needed to take them up to Bright's Temple Church, which is a black church, right up there on the main drag going in Shovel. And I told them, I said, y'all think that you're too good to let them be baptized in this water. And anyhow, one thing led to another, and uh, we moved our bus ministry to another church, and we baptized them there at that church. And then we had some little kids that was going to be baptized, and we went to visit the church that we had left from, and they had to baptize them because they didn't realize they was half and nothing like that. So all that tore up a lot of people's minds there for a while, everything like that. But uh, I was even told take them somewhere else. Don't take them here, like that. But most of all those people are dead now, and I just wonder whenever they got to the Golden Gates, if they made it. I don't know that they made it, but I say if they made it. I just wonder if St. Peter, I just wonder if he wouldn't be a full-fledged white man, no way, and everything on account of the country that he come from and his nationality and everything like that. But yet, I guess whenever they got to the gate, that St. Peter told them, he said, y'all, I don't think y'all can come in, and it's on account of your color. And everything like that, you being lily white, so I guess they went on down to the other establishment and everything like that.
Well, dang.
Well, I mean, whenever you're driving a church bus especially or dealing with people, you can't be totally negative like that and say, well, I'm not gonna talk to you. I always think about the poor Indians that the Native Americans is in this country that we've took their land away from them, we took everything away from them, and they have a few people that I would say multi-millionaires, but a lot of them they're still poor and everything like that. If you go out west, you can still see the remnants of them and everything like that. And we took everything they had and everything like that over a period of time. And well, people holler that's progress, but yet we can have progress but treat people right.
I like it.
100%. And so, a little bit of a pivot here. You talked about your wife it was you and her on the church bus all the time. So tell us about Mimi. What about Mimi was special? Talk about it.
Jeez, we're gonna be here all night, something like that, huh?
Tell me. Tell me why she was the one for 48 years.
That's a dang good question.
Well, 47 years.
47 years.
Mimi, as they called her, she was a wife, but she was a friend, a lover, and I still love her as far as that goes, even though she's gone. She's been gone since 2016. And she was really a big help to me about whenever I was driving down the road, say on the church bus. She would talk to the children, and she'd always have something for them to do, and this and that and other. Not to get up and walk the aisles and nothing like that, but yet she'd have a little ceremony that she prepared like a little Sunday school lesson, even though she was on the bus, and she'd pass it out to them. She'd talk to them, and she'd ask them questions and everything like that. And believe it or not, on that bus, she led a lot of them to know Jesus as a Savior and everything like that, because she would talk to them, and then she would bring them into the church and talk to the pastor. And a lot of times, within a few days, they would be baptized into the church there and everything like that. So we had a lot of people. We had most of the time we had like 25 or 30, which you say faithful ones, and then we had some, that we'd be there for a few weeks and then they'd be gone, and then they'd come back, and this and that, another what I call floaters. But yet, Mimi was a big help, and I know that the good Lord was really proud of her, because I was proud of her myself, and everything like that, and the way she handled herself, and she's a very religious lady and a good Christian lady.
And that has always been our testify that, why we believe in God is because of her story and how much, her being sick for so long, making it as long as she did. She was never supposed to see us be born. She was never supposed to be around for all of us to be, to grow up and all that kind of stuff. But she was there, and she was a part of it, and she might have been sick through it all, but she was there, and she enjoyed it, and there's no other way to say it, but that was God's doing. When that's the only reason she was here for so long, was because of God.
I believe that too. And she had to keep me straight for 47 years too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It takes a special kind of person to keep you in check,
right.
I guess.
You got that right.
Jeez.
That's for sure.
What me and Alex, we're kids trying to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of our life, Grandpa. What, as far as a good woman's concerned, what would your advice to us be as far as figuring out who that is? That's a tough question, probably. I don't know.
No, it's not a tough question. I mean, um, women in this day and time, a lot of them have changed to what they were, like when Mimi came along, this and that and other, because Mimi and I was both the same age and everything like that. Was born within a month or two of each other and everything like that. And but yet, uh, a woman that's to me that you don't just roll over them or anything like that, but yet they uh, they need an attitude of being a helpmate and to help you in anything that you do or whatever you want to do, and this and that and other, and be there for you. And a lot of the women nowadays are losing that attitude and everything like that. They wanna work at Public Works, which is nothing wrong with that, because Mimi used to work at Public Works, but yet she always cooked for me and she did her housekeeping. Of course, I always helped her too and everything like that. And it's got to be a two-way street and everything like that. It's got to be 50-50 and everything like that. And a man is not always right. A woman's not always right. It's got to be an equalization there, and you got to come to the conclusion and say, hey, that's my buddy, that's my mate, and I wanna do whatever I can to help her, and she's gonna do whatever she can to help you, and it's just it's a love street, if you want to call it that, and I mean you're both going down the same street, and so many divorces now, so many live-ins, and I don't agree with living in at all. And I mean, to me, you lose the whole concept of what the Lord meant for you to do in the beginning, because He said a man leaves his father and mother, and he finds him a helpmate like that, and he cleaves to her all of his life. And when you say I do, it means to death do you part.
A love street. I've never heard it put exactly like that.
Well, that's what you call it, the love
We're
street.
gonna have to get you to write a book.
It's like going down the road.
We're gonna make you write a book one of these days.
Do you have to know where you're going, or do you just
Well,
pack up and head
you
head
got to
up the road?
understand. You got to understand too that there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of things that happens in life that can change a lot of things. But you shouldn't never change your love for somebody or anything like that. But now, on the other hand, if one of your partners is untrue to each other or anything like that, you got to make a decision. Do I want to put up with this the rest of my life, or do I not? And that's a two-way street.
I like it.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
We're playing tennis with these questions here. I got to go ahead.
So I got two questions. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice I ever been given.
Oh, we're hitting with the deep question. I like it.
That's a broad statement right there. And I go back and think about you, Mimi, a lot of times, and on that particular statement and like that. She told me, as you guys know, about 12 hours before she passed away, she told me, she said, I'm leaving. I'm fixing to cross the Jordan River and everything like that. And she said, go get your job and don't worry about me. And to me, that was the best information I ever had from anybody, really, because when you lose a loved one like that, and you can't sit at home and twiddle your thumbs and worry about what's going on, because I know she's in a lot better place. And today's society and everything like that, the way things are, I wouldn't want her back in the shape she was in, health-wise, or nothing like that. So, and I think she's looking forward to see me one of these days, and I know I'm looking forward to see her.
Yeah, she just she's getting a little 15-minute break, I guess is what it is. She said, "Hey," Jesus said,
Yeah,
"Hold up, that old boy Marvin down there. Let's let him sit for a minute." And that's great.
That's about the way you look at it, because, and I'm telling you guys, because y'all are young, and I'm 74, but I'm telling you, life flies, because yesterday I was 19, and today seemed like I'm 74, and like that. And I look back on a lot of things that I probably should have done, and I didn't do. And we all make mistakes and everything like that, and it's a lot to think about. A lot of times, what if, and should I done this and should I done that? But I look back on it, and I wouldn't take nothing for my life that I've lived. I mean, really, 'cause no, I haven't done everything I needed to do, and I haven't done everything I wanted to do, but uh, I've enjoyed my time.
You still got plenty of time left.
Facts.
You're not going nowhere tomorrow.
Yeah, ain't no.
I hope not.
Oh man. So were you in the National Guard?
Yeah,
National Guard.
I was in
So
the National Guard 6 years.
so where were all the places you went in those 6 years? How many states did you travel in?
Well, we went when we went to camp, we'd leave here most of the time on Saturday morning at 4 o'clock, and we'd leave out and go through Mississippi and Alabama. Um, we went down to Camp Shelby, um, and we went to different places from time to time and everything like that. Most of the time when we left here, if we left on Saturday morning at 4 o'clock, we would drive and we would stop in I think it was Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's where it was at. We stopped in Tuscaloosa and we'd spend the night, and then we'd go on to Camp Shelby and everything like that the next day. And we was on the road actually 2 days driving an old Deuce and Half, and that was fun because Mimi would fix fried chicken for me and my buddy that my buddy's done passed on that I rode with a lot of times and drove with and everything like that. And she'd take and fix a big old platter of chicken, and we'd take and be heading down the road, and we'd throw out a chicken leg out the window every once in a while and everything like that, on the side of the road for the dogs to eat and everything like that. But one guy said one time, he said, I can follow y'all all the way from Tennessee all the way to Alabama to Mississippi and on through there like that. And he said, you're the chicken bones. But Mimi would fix it about, I don't know, probably 25 to 50 chicken legs and everything like that, and fry them. Oh man, she could fry them up good.
There was some folks hunting Sasquatch that were just running behind you. Sasquatches were eating up them chicken legs, probably.
Well, they probably was. There's probably dogs and everything else running along behind us.
Y'all was eating 50 pieces of fried chicken.
Yeah, we had a big cooler. We had a big cooler, and Mimi would take and have these trays, these big old plastic trays. Oh man, we had chicken piled up in there like you wouldn't believe.
Mimi was the founder of KFC.
Yeah, I was about to say Bojangles has nothing on that.
Mimi created the bucket of chicken.
Colonel Sanders never cooked it no better. I'll tell you what.
That's a fact.
That's a fact, Jack.
Heck yeah. Dude, what's
I got another question.
Hit him.
What's the worst piece of advice you ever got?
Worst piece of advice I ever got.
You said your best, and then now let's hear the worst.
Well,
someone told you this, and you're like, you're full of it. That doesn't even make any sense.
I feel like that probably happens every day.
I want to tell you this one, and I don't mean to talk about my dad or anything like that, but yet, my dad never did really care for Mimi, for Shirley, very much, and anything like that. And the day that me and her got married, we got married on a Monday, about 10 o'clock on Monday morning, and I asked her to marry me on Sunday night, and everything like that, And
That's a quick turnaround.
we was watching movies and everything, eating popcorn and drinking cokes and this and that and the other. And I asked her to marry me, and she sort of started crying like it, And I said, if you don't want to get married, I said, that's up to you. But she had been married before. She got married when she was real young, in high school and everything like that. And her announcement was to me, don't do me like so and so done me, And I said, okay. I said I won't do that. So anyhow, on the next morning, on Monday morning, we had her sister and brother-in-law and two friends of mine. We all go up to the courthouse for Judge Mike Fair, and he said all the vows and everything, and we said all the vows to him and this and that and the other, and we got married. And anyhow, my dad was so hot about it and everything like that. He didn't want me to get married. and I think it was on account of she had been married before and everything like that. So anyhow, what I did, I watched for him to see where he was at, and I go and I told Shirley, I said, I got to go home and get me some clothes, and this and that and the other. So we already had a trailer rented and everything like that, you know. So anyhow, I run home and got me some clothes, and I told my mama that I just got married, you know, like that. And she said, okay, and because my mama was excellent woman. I mean, she always, I was her baby, I guess, you know, and everything like that. And she didn't say anything other than just congratulations, you know, and this and that and the other. I told her, I said, I'm going to get some of my clothes, and I said, I'll be back and see you in a day or two, and everything like that. So that's what we did. And my dad never did, he would never say that he accepted her as a daughter-in-law all his life. I mean, as long as he lived, which, I mean, you know, that's his thinking and everything like that. But that would have been some of the worst information I ever got if I'd have been told not to marry her, because I had 47 good years.
I'll agree with that 100,000,000%, because me and old boy over there wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah. We wouldn't be sitting here if that wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't know. When did your dad die, if you don't mind me asking?
1990.
1990.
He was 94 years old. And I can understand some of his thinking. I mean, you know, because
He was born in 1896. Is that bad math?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I can understand some of his thinking, because a lot of people that men and women both that's been married before, they don't seem like they take their vows, you know, like they need to and everything like that. So, I mean, he had his reasons, but I mean, he never explained to me what the deal was.
It's unfortunate. It's his loss, it seems. It's
Oh yeah, yeah. I wished I looked back on it. I wished that he'd accepted her, you know, and everything like that. Because she tried to make him like her, or make him love her, or whatever, you know, as best she could. But you can't make nobody love you if you know, if they don't wanna be around you.
it's about the same thing with sales a little bit. You can't sell to somebody that don't want to get sold
No,
to.
no, that's
Kinda.
right. That's right. Well, first thing you gotta do is sell yourself if you're gonna be a salesperson. And I
That's
mean, you
what I
know.
told you.
And
That's
most of the time, whenever you walk into an establishment, I know I've done it too many years, and you start to talk to somebody, when the first 2 or 3 seconds that they meet you and greet you, they make up their mind, do I want to do business with this guy or this lady, or not? And then that's the way it goes. I mean, um, you take that's just a personal touch. It's in there that you know. Some people are not going to like you no matter what you do and everything like that.
I agree with that.
And I say just dust your feet off and go on. Find you somebody else.
And that's what me and Dylan have been learning about. Is that's why I said that's what I've been telling you. Is that's what we've been talking about a lot. Is with my business and with what he's doing at his job. It's all about. It's not about the product we're selling. It's not about that. It's about selling ourselves that we're going to do a quality job, or we're up to our word in what we're doing. Like what we say is what we're going to do. No matter what it is, that we're selling ourselves that we're going to do a good job. It's not about we're not worried about how many jobs we do. We're worried about the effort we put into a job and the quality of job it is. It's not about quantity. It's all about quality.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Something I'm starting to figure out. Like yesterday, I'll just tell the story. I was going to knock doors, and I start going up this door. It's duplexes in Smyrna, but both the front door and the back door was open. There's a fella out back grilling. He had music playing, and I knew the song, so I just started singing, walking up there. And they heard me. They was like, "Who is this big-headed dude singing so awful at the front door?" But by God, they were buying internet before I left. Whatever I was selling, they were buying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild. I don't that you like you say you sell
Well,
yourself. No
yeah.
prostitution.
Right. But you gotta be genuine. You gotta be genuine in anything that you do or say, or anything like that, you know, because people can read you. People can read you, and I have people coming in out there where I work at, and this and that and other, and I mean they look at me and they say, well, why are you working out here? because you've got an education and you know your product, you know this and know that. Well, I could be a lot of different places, but yet the whole deal is I like to meet and greet people and everything like that. And everybody's got a story to tell. I don't care who it is. Everybody's got a story to tell, and it's just according and some people you catch them at a bad time, and I mean you wait on them and get gone, and everything like that. But yet, on average, most everybody will stop and talk to you a few minutes, and you can learn a lot by listening.
Absolutely. Listening and being interested in what they're talking about, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
Are you do you read a lot of books, or have you read a lot of books? Or no?
I never have read a whole lot of books. I've been electrical guy since 1978, and I've read a lot of books on electrical and everything. And but yet, as far as a lot of other books and this and that and other, to me, I'm a guy that experienced a whole lot. And you don't say that until you get as old as I am, and because we have a lot of things that happens in life that really you couldn't write a book on, really. I mean, because it's such a challenge you don't want to talk about, but yet there's a lot of challenges out there that you can talk about and you will talk about as time goes along, because we all have challenges.
I feel like that might be why country music's so like you talking about old country music's telling a story.
That's right.
They figured out how to tell a couple of those like old Reba McEntire. She'll talk about the lights going out in Georgia. I mean, I don't know any other place. She can't just go up to you in the supermarket and talk about that, you know?
No, no, that's true. That's true. But yet, you'd be surprised how many people's out there, because where I work at, I talk a lot of times to different people, and they say, "You like country music, don't you?" I say, "How'd you guess?" I say, "'Cause you are country, like it's and I do. I mean, and yeah, it tells you a lot of stories, but it's like I told a preacher one time. He told me, he said, "You listen to George Jones and people like that, and that country music?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And the song that was playing on my radio at that time, and it was playing about 100 decibels, and anyhow, he told me, he said, you know what that music could do to you, don't you? He said, it'll drive you to drinking and chasing women. And I just spoke up and I said, what's wrong with that? Like that. But the whole deal is, what you listen to a lot of times, and anything like that, you don't have to do it. You're just listening to it because it's something you want to listen to, and this and that and other. And but I still go back to the old time rock and roll and everything too. Old Bob Seger. I mean, I like him, and there's one song that's still on the air a lot. I listen to it, and it's Adobe Gray, and a black guy that sings the song, and I like it too. And I mean, there's a lot of musicians, and I stop and think about a lot of times that you taking the rock and roll music was created up in Chicago, really. When you stop and think about it, Supremes is one group. There's a bunch of them that they started out up there at the studio, and what you call, I think it's Hitsville, USA, that you can listen to, and they've been very good to last as many years, because that was when I was just a little boy that I listened to a lot of that and this and that and other. So you can figure something that's lasted 50 or 60 years, it's got to be pretty good. Got to be. And there's a lot of people still out there that still likes it.
I know sometimes I'm driving down a 41A, and it's weekly. There's a Bob Seger concert going on somewhere close to your house. Just inside
Well,
there, it's like you say, 100 decibels. It's louder than that, Grandpa.
what that is my 58-inch TV that I have, the big screen TV sitting on top of this stand, and I've got a music box in front of it, what you call a We call it I call it a boom box, 'cause it really gets on up there, you know. And I turn it up as high as it'll go, and then I turn up the TV as high as it'll go. And that's 100 decibels. So anyhow, my windows start shaking, and I tell you a good one that happened the other night. I had it going. I was listening to Bob Seger on Old Time Rock and Roll, and all of a sudden, my alarm clock was sitting over on top of the box, and it fell off on the floor on account of the vibration. And I thought they were pretty cool.
Bob Seger hit the snooze button for you.
Yeah.
YouTube is the greatest thing that ever happened to you, is it?
Oh, yeah. And thanks to my grandchildren, that's how I got hooked up on YouTube. And I've actually got books. I've got probably 10 or 12 books that's got just about every song you can think of old time rock and roll and country. Yeah. It's all wrote down, who sings it, and everything in my books.
You're a country music, or you're a music scholar almost.
Oh, almost. If you mention the name of a song, most of the time I can flip my book around and I'll find it in a little bit. It may take me an hour or two, but I will find it.
Kevin Gates, I don't know about that, but how? I got no. You got a question? What we doing?
I don't have one.
You got any questions for us, Grandpa?
No, it's just a statement. I mean, I'll make a statement about both of you. I love both of you, and I hope that you can look back on this and say, well, you know, Grandpa told me like it was, you know. And anyhow, I hope both of you can, you know, live a long life, and I hope you find that mate that you're looking for one of these days, and everything like that. But I'm gonna tell you this much: don't be in no hurry, and everything like that. And I ran upon Mimi and met Mimi in church. That's the best place to meet him, really. And not every time, but I mean, don't go to no bars and all this kind of stuff trying to find you a good woman, in my opinion, because that's not really a place that you're going to find a good woman a lot of times and everything like that, you know. So sort of be particular.
Be particular.
I do got a question. Who's your favorite grandkid?
Oh my goodness, he's putting the limelight on. What's happening?
Well,
that's unanswerable right there.
That is a statement that may incriminate me, so I don't want to do that.
It's answerable.
But there is one. Oh my goodness.
I know the answer.
Oh, but
it's your boy. All me.
All me.
All me.
Yeah, I enjoyed my little tour guide. You know, he was my tour guide when we went to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You know.
Had to show you around. That Grand Canyon got grander.
I tell you what, we didn't miss nothing on account of him. He stayed on top of it now, I'm telling you.
That's the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Oh, yeah. Cold, too. Oh, it was cold when we was out there.
Cold?
Yeah. Temperature, I would say, was colder out there than it was here at the time.
Yeah, it was freezing, especially how the altitude and stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we got to go to Hoover Dam. We got to go to Grand Canyon. We took a boat ride. Even took pictures of him guiding the boat.
Let me drive the boat.
And yeah, he was guiding the boat. But it was a good trip. And helicopter ride.
Beautiful.
And a helicopter sure does shake, baby. You know.
Did you have Bob Seger going?
Huh?
You have Bob Seger going?
Nah, they didn't have Bob Seger on there.
Shaking for a different reason.
I was hoping that guy was very conscious of what he was doing, because he had about 5 or 6 bodies in there.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Pilots, every time we talk to them, they're like, "It's my first day on the job." I was like, "Obviously not. So quit making that joke. Like, it's not funny."
Oh, wannabe comedians.
Yeah, not on that. Funny. Because when you start flying in that thing, I mean, and they shake a lot too, and everything like that, you know. So you don't have to worry about. You look out the window and everything just going away.
Heck yeah. Oh man. What do you think about old Alex's hair there?
Huh?
You think about old Alex's hair?
Oh, I like his hair.
Did you know I got it permed?
Is it?
Yeah. I cut it and then permed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there for a while he had it and it was hanging down his eyes and everything else, you know. So you had to dress it up a little bit, you know. So.
I remember that, but one I really remember is when he had it shaved.
Oh yeah, he had it all cut off.
Yeah. That'd make a baby cry right there.
That's what you call an old man's haircut.
I had a peanut head.
I told a lady the other day, a lady gave me a haircut the other day, okay? And I told her, I said, be careful up there, 'cause I said, there's a whole lot up there. She looked at me and she said, what?
Jeez.
She thought she had somebody else in the chair, you know?
She didn't know what was happening. She had to go
No.
back to school for that one.
No, that's right. That's right.
Jeez.
Man, oh man.
Dude, I don't know how to end a podcast. We need to figure out how to do that.
Well, I think you said everything like that about 108 times.
No, but it's
so it was perfect.
Yeah, it's
It was
100%.
perfect.
Perfect. Oh, I said 100%.
You almost got through the whole thing without saying
You
it.
said it earlier and I didn't point, but I should have.
Yeah. We've been trying. So we've done this. What is this, like the fourth or fifth time we've done this?
Yeah.
And the first time we did it, we kept talking. We were talking to each other, and then we would each go after he would say something, I would go 100%. Yeah, I agree. And then after I would say something, he would look at me and go 100%. I agree. And so we were just pretty much just saying 100%. I agree about 15 to 20 times.
We agreed on everything, but I don't think we talked about much.
We never disagreed. It was like I asked a question, he made a statement, then we were like perfect, 100%.
100%, huh?
What we need to do is get some arguments going on here. I don't know how we could do that, but that'd be fun.
I don't like to argue.
Maybe not arguments, maybe some discussions. We can call it that.
That's
I
what
don't
you
know.
call a lively discussion.
I like it.
I like it.
Dude.
But yeah, Easter's tomorrow, and I think it's time for me to go get some more banana pudding.
Banana pudding. Sounds good to me.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you for all your advice, all your love and support, and we love you to death.
Yeah, and
I
also
love you guys too.
your life has pretty much allowed us to be it's real. You have built everything out here. Really, anything that we do or our parents have done, it's because of you. So yeah, appreciate you. I don't know how to what do you I don't know.
Mimi
Jeez.
used to talk a lot of times about Chad and Heather, you know. And I told her different times after y'all come along, I said, I'm so glad I didn't kill them kids when they was growing up. They give me 5 good grandbabies, you know.
That's the only reason though. What he was like, I don't know. Up until then, you were like, I don't know.
You were questioning whether they were worth it or not.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well,
110%.
110%.
There
I
you
like
go.
it. We're gonna call everything like that 110%.
But this is episode probably 6, 7, or 8.
Probably
with,
number 1 if we're being honest.
Yeah, more than likely. With Alex and Dylan featuring George Marvin Whitaker, a.k.a. Papa.
AKA.
Thank you for watching.
And we're out.
AKA Papa. Oh,